morning, Market Snipers. This is Jesse. We're getting started right on 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining in. We've got some early birds in the comments. Shout out to Rick and John for being the first two in here. Early bird gets the worm. So we'll definitely cover we'll definitely cover your requests on the second half of the live stream. First, we're going to get through Bitcoin. We're going to get through the NASDAQ. We're going to get through metals, maybe some crypto assets, or we'll save those for the requests if we have some. And we'll get through the Magnificent Seven. So are we bouncing? Are we going to see a bounce? Well, in the ticker scroller going across the bottom, I've been talking about, I've talked about in the past, like when there's a bear market or whatever, expect bounces along the way. Just like if you're in a bull run, expect pullbacks along the way. So we're gonna get into all of that. Before we do, let's don't forget. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe. I know that's obnoxious, but it's kind of fun. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll get this going right now. So let's see. Let me kind of turn this off, and we're gonna go larger screen here. We're gonna go larger screen. And let's take off. We got some more comments. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We'll get into the comments. We'll get into the requests here, but I want to jump right in, especially for the replay crew, right? I want to jump right in for the replay crew. Let's get some charts going. And then the live crew, comment your stuff and we'll get going from there. So we're going to start with the NASDAQ, right? So overall, still doing what we thought it would do, right? It's still that longer term bearish divergence on the weekly chart, followed by the higher low. And then this weekly close here on RSI, not on price yet, but on RSI, has already taken out this low. So it's trending downward, and we expect bounces along the way, right? So expect bounces along the way. If we drop down to the daily chart, you can kind of see what we're talking about, right? So I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit on the NASDAQ. And again, just quick recap. I like to recap it, number one, for myself, but number two, I like to recap it for like go back through the charts, what's actually happening, right? So we don't get caught up in, every single candle. Is it reversing on every single candle, right? So it kind of helps me with that too. Had that longer term bearish divergence, had that lower high, had another lower high, came back, retested the second target box. And this is one of the things that we talked about on the live streams, right? We talked about this possible scenario playing out where it could kind of like find support here, put another lower high like this. And we also talked about price could come back down, kind of come back up, maybe even back test, and then go back down, right? Didn't really see too much of a back test on the trend line itself, but it's getting it got pretty far away from the trend line. So what if it doesn't go all the way back and retest it? It's possible that it does. So be prepared for that. But it looks like as of right now, it broke down, retested target one, and actually on the daily close took out this low. So we talked about the weekly chart did not close below, but RSI weekly chart did, and then the daily chart did close below. So perfect to like close below. The shorts or the bears are, they're celebrating, right? And as they're celebrating, the bigger players are taking profit, right? And then they let it bounce, trap some more longs, and then short it again. And it's basically a rinse repeat over and over and over again. So kind of zooming in here, this would already be the game plan, right? So personally, I already took profit I was on a little bit lower time frame. So I already did take profit, and then it started to reverse back around. And so now I'm just kind of waiting patiently. I'm not in a long position. I'm waiting patiently for that bounce to happen. And you kind of see like I'm already starting to build out the trend line, right? So wherever this is ends up being, that's where I plan to attack the downside again. So again, my trustworthy TA squiggly line, right? Whatever the pattern turns out to be, that's the attack, right? So somewhere around there, or maybe it doesn't even get that high, right? So maybe it doesn't even take that long, but kind of like those are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, basically 8 solid days downward, right? So you expect bounces along the way. And sometimes those bounces happen at key support areas, right? A lot of times it happens like that. So, kind of like a more realistic is like maybe it came down and it puts in some sort of like bear flag, right? And then comes back down. So that's kind of what I'd be watching. And you can kind of see, like, you can kind of start to imagine, if you've stared at charts long enough, kind of imagine what kind of like how it could possibly play out, right? Already drawing a point from here to there and extending it out. There's no point here, but you've got like the trending dots here. So kind of like just game planning it out in real time. And sometimes it works out perfectly, and sometimes it's a variation of it, or it doesn't work out at all. But that's constantly, when you're swing trading, you're constantly grinding the charts out to get ready for the next move. And to my plan, what we talked about was to short the bounce. So shorted this bounce, took profit. Now, if as it's bouncing, then my plan is to short the next bounce. So whatever that is, at some point it could be like more of a steep, right? Kind of take that off. Could be more of a steep, bear flag that gets kind of put in like that, right? And then short that bounce. So that's my personal plan. Obviously, none of this financial advice, and you got to do your own research, and you shouldn't be shorting until you're ready. Until you are ready. All right. Awesome. A lot of comments going on so far. We'll jump into that. A couple more charts, and then I'm going to start reading some comments, and then we'll circle back around and keep going on the charts. So 10-year yield on the daily chart is ultra bullish, right? Ultra bullish on the daily chart. 10-year treasury is ultra bullish on the weekly chart. And it's ultra bullish on the daily chart, right? So if we kind of zoom in here on the 10-year yield, you're just seeing that the probabilities continue to increase, whether it happens today, tomorrow, next month, the month after, or 6 months from now, the probabilities, or next year, right? The probabilities continue to increase that the next target box gets hit. And so we'll see what happens from there. But these target boxes are on here for a reason. They're based off of the downward 40-year trend. So this downward trend, the rates have been in a 40-year downward trend, and it broke out of that, right? And so now you're getting a retracement back on here. It may not end anytime soon, right? This is a 40-year trend. So I've seen it. I saw it on the DXY. I saw it, when the dollar started to become bullish back in June 2021. I literally saw it for more than a year and a half. People calling that the top is in. The top is in. It's gonna correct. Starting at $92, and it went all the way to almost $115. I saw quote unquote experts, macro experts, trading experts, investor. I think really what they're doing is hoping, right? And they're guessing, obviously, and they guess wrong. So, but I saw it from $92, them calling pullbacks, retracements. It's over. It's over. It's over. And then if you look at the dollar, it wasn't, right? So we follow the trend, right? So if you go back to like the weekly chart, June 2021, it was back below the $92, literally from $92 all the way up. People were on the wrong side of the trade, right? So Um, it's bullish until it's not. It's ultra bullish until it's not. And what we were looking at was this move right here, this consolidation was looking like a bull flag on the higher time frames. And I pointed this out and I charted it and we were looking at it and calling it out, but we didn't know if the bull flag would play out. You know, my thing about patterns is I'm not a patterns trader, but I like to use them as ideas. And I think, you know, and I haven't done any real data testing on this, but just based off the eyeball test of over and over and over again, it just seems like patterns play out 50% of the time. And then patterns actually hitting their pattern price targets seems like it's less than like 33% of the time. Maybe that's enough for most people, but I do like them for ideas. So if this is a bull flag on a higher time frame, right, then you'd be looking at target 2 being hit. When, you know, it could take a year, could take 6 months, could happen in a couple months, but you can see like this longer term trend line, it could take 2 years, right? Based off of this trend line, you could see it maybe it would take 2 years for it to come up and hit this target. If it was on this more parabolic trend line right here, maybe it would take, you know, less than a year to come up and hit this target, right? So you don't want to guess that this is the top all the way up, right? You can guess it back here. You can guess it back here. Oh, you know, they got to turn the money printers back on. They got to lower the rates back down. You know, all the narratives that you hear, you know, that's great to have an awareness and, you know, play out the game theory. But at the end of the day, you got to block out the noise and just trust what you're seeing on the charts. And what I'm seeing on the charts is this is a potential longer term bull flag. And the probabilities continue to stack that the next target's going to get hit, just as this target was hit, and there was monthly closes above it, came back to retest it, and then another monthly close back above, and it was ultra bullish back then. The probabilities were continuing to stack up to hit this target, and many didn't believe that was going to happen. And then after that target, it consolidated, right? It consolidated here and then consolidated here. Looks like a longer term bullish flag, and then started to break out. We were talking about this on the weekly chart way back here, right? So on the weekly chart at 3.5%, I was calling it out. I was like, this looks kind of like a bull flag. We're getting a buy signal here. And then lo and behold, it's been bullish, 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 bullish. And now it's ultra bullish yet again. So that's the 10-year yield. We just covered the dollar. So on the monthly chart, it's been bullish this whole entire time, right? Even in this correction, even in this came back to hit key targets and almost hit this last the fourth of the I think it was the third or fourth target. I think 3 targets were hit. The fourth one was not, right? So found key support. In hindsight, it bounced right off the 200-week moving average, right? The weekly chart, there was that nice correction, and we call this out in real time. Hit 3 targets to the downside, bounced, and then found support. And then we were talking about the breakout. It's hit 2 targets so far, but has not hit this third target. Possibly could consolidate and let the trending dots kind of catch up. So still bullish. The dollar is still bullish. In my opinion, it's still... Is everyone smashing the like button? Just want to double check. Is everyone smashing the like button? That's what I want to know. Don't make me put on these subscribe buttons. Don't make me put on these subscribe buttons. So hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to keep going. So the dollar, you know, my personal opinion is this is a huge move up. This is a consolidation. This is a retracement. And until then, right, I'm not expecting higher prices, but the monthly chart is bullish, so it could. So I would expect, you know, after this big correction, some sort of retracement, and then possibly go back down. If the monthly chart remains bullish, I'm going to change my thought, as in This breakout would come like this and then flip these targets into support and then continue upward to higher prices. So it's a retracement until it's not. And if it flips these retracement targets from resistance into support, and the monthly chart is still looking bullish, then I'm going to change my thesis, my thoughts that we're going to see higher prices. So this is the first one, right? This is number one, my thought process, and has been my thought process since here, right? But that doesn't mean the monthly chart doesn't remain bullish, hits these targets, comes back down, flips these targets into support, and then continues upward. So that's what we're going to continue to watch. The VIX, the wild animal, right? This is the weekly chart. We talked about this on the daily chart. You know, it's a wild animal. Expect moves like this, right? Expect moves like this, whatever it is, versus usually it's not like this. Usually it's not as rounding, right? So expect that on the VIX because it is the volatility of the S&P 500, right? It is the volatility. So 2 targets have hit so far. Could come back, retest the trending dots, get a retracement on, find support, and possibly come up and hit target 3 and 4 from there. And then we'll see from there, right? Okay, let's go through some comments here. That was a quick, good 15 minutes. I want to go through some comments, and then we'll circle back a couple more charts I want to see, and then we'll jump into the requests and stuff. So good morning, Rick's Money Makers Helton. I love it. I always put a smile on my face. Solana/Sol crypto. Rick, thanks for putting that on there. I appreciate it because obviously Sol and Solana is on my watch list. But in case the crypto or the stock asset is not on my watch list, or futures or forex, it just helps me search that much faster. So I appreciate you writing it out like that, even if it is on the watch list. I'm looking to buy hopefully much lower. Okay, so you're waiting patiently for a buy. Are you looking more of like a longer term as an investor, you know, when the bull run starts, or are you looking for like a quick buy the dip and sell that rip, right? Let me know before we get into it. John, good morning, John. And thanks for you and Rick being the early birds. You guys were first here. You're in the comments. Rick was 30 minutes early. Rick was officially 29 minutes early, and John was 21 minutes early. So early birds get the worm. They're already on my list because they were early. So you are NJ, Solana, and WGMI because they've already put that in the comments. So that is the benefit of being early. Yep, WGMI. It's already on my list to cover because, like I said, you're early. Good morning, Market Snipers. 10 minutes. Okay. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning. Mauricio, good morning. Welcome back, Mauricio. Oswaldo Flores, good morning, Jesse. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Emmanuel, longtime sniper, good morning. Took some longs today to close my shorts yesterday after daily close with a little loss. Ooh. Yeah, we don't like that, but a little bit of a loss is better than a big loss, right? So keep the losses as small as possible and try to push the ones in profit as long as you can, long as you covered the loss already. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's the whole point, right? So if you took a small loss, you know, don't be married to your position, and you know, it's a delicate balance between what was your overall trade plan originally versus how the trade's going and how it's going now, right? So, and then there's always new opportunities. So if you're not married to it, then you can rebound and get back into a long and it's already covered, right? So you're good there. Nice. Good to see. Aldo, good morning. Hey, Jesse, thanks for looking at BCH yesterday. I had to go, but watched it on replay. Awesome, Aldo. These are all on replay. So whether you're the live crew or the replay crew, Appreciate the support, the comments, the likes. Keep smashing them. And even if you're on the replay crew, what you could do is comment what you want me to chart for the next day. And I'm happy to do so. Or message me on the X app or message me in the Discord if you're in the Discord, and let me know what you want me to chart. Got some tags the other day from new Discord member, wanted me to chart something, and we did. We want to help the people supporting us, right? Arnold, sup, boss? The beast, the king of charts, the real deal. Jesse, Olson. Awesome. Welcome back, Arnold. The man. I tagged you earlier on the X app. Couple potential breakouts happening. Long time sniper in the Discord. Awesome. Good to see everyone back. Caesar. Oh, Arnold, let me know in the comments. Emmanuel, everyone else that's in the Discord, are you going to be on the private Friday jam session live stream tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time? That would be 3:30 p.m. your time, Arnold, since you're in Florida. I think you said the Emerald Coast or something like that. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be on that private live stream for the Discord. We'd like to see as many people there as possible, but at least 5. I want at least 5 people to commit, right? I think there is at least 5 already committed. Caesar, good morning from the office today. So just listening. Awesome. No problem. No problem. Okay, Kyle, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back. Arnold, morning, Kyle. Boss, can we do? Sure. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll go through them all. Not in a position yet, looking for a long train. Great. Colson from my car. What's up, Colson? Awesome. Hopefully you're just listening and not watching the video portion like Tom yesterday was just listening. And if you are, don't tell us in the comments that you're watching the video while you're driving. We don't need to know. We don't need accidents. We need the snipers to be healthy first and foremost. Welcome back, Sniper Colson. Oh, Colson, are you going to be I don't know if, yeah, well, you are commenting. Jam session from my car. Okay, I just saw that. Awesome. Awesome. Good to see. Friday jam session from the car. We'll listen to, hopefully you'll hear us tomorrow. Caesar, I'll be there. Awesome, Caesar. Okay. Yes, this time I can. Cool. All right. Well, let's get back into it. I want to look at silver. I want to look at gold. We've got some, we got ETH. Obviously, we're going to look at Bitcoin up 3% today. We're going to cover all that. Magnificent 7. So I'm going to go kind of quickly through these charts because we've been following it already. And then we'll get into all the requests after that. So we're going to go much faster. Obviously, still bearish on the daily chart for silver. Weekly chart has a pending sell signal. Looks like it's barely holding onto this trend line. Maybe it comes down, breaks down, and comes back, retest the 200-week moving average. Right? Let me check something out. Okay, yeah, actually kind of like that. I'm going to leave that on. Subscribe. I'm going to leave that on. We need likes. I need a like button. I need to flip it back and forth between the like and the subscribe button. Jesse, can you check Nicola? Sure. Deep breath. Okay, silver. Pending sell on the weekly chart, right? It's bearish. It's bearish. Looks like, if we get a weekly close below this trend line, it signals lower prices, right? Obviously. So a bigger retracement back down. So we'll see. I mean, it could still hold, could still find support, maybe at the 200-week moving average, and then could still bounce up. But right now, it's looking like from this pivot point, got a higher low, a lower low. I'm sorry. From this pivot point, a lower high. I always do that. Never fails. Never do that. I always do that. Lower high, right? Lower low, lower high. And then now you'd be kind of waiting for as it's going through this consolidation, will it put in that lower low here and then come back down to lower prices on Silver, gold is looking pretty bearish right now. From this breakdown, it's looking more bearish than silver, so maybe it's leading the way to the downside after this longer term target one has been hit. And this is kind of like the overall thinking that I was talking about for Bitcoin as well, and then come back down, hit these lower targets, target 2, and possibly target 3, similar to silver, where silver is getting down in this area closer to this lower target and where the 200-week moving average is. So watching gold breaking down, it's a pending sell, but it was a pretty big move down so far. Let's look at Magnificent 7. Then we'll circle back from the Magnificent 7. It's bouncing right now. Bitcoin is bouncing. Looks like the alts are bouncing. So we're gonna jump into it all. We got time. Went an hour and 41 minutes yesterday. Probably gonna keep it. It's probably gonna go a little bit faster today. Try to keep it within the hour and 15 minutes. And but we have a lot to cover, so try to go a little bit faster, right? So let's look at the balances on NVIDIA. It's still no pending sell yet. And one of the scenarios that we talked about, similar to the NASDAQ, was, and we'll take a look at, but these are like the overall targets and stuff. And this is that longer term upward trend line, while RSI is trending downwards, right? So eventually price catches up. Eventually price catches up. So you got that bearish divergence, followed by the breakdown back to target 1. We talked about this, that could see it come back down, find support, put in a higher low, and then roll over after that. That's still the possibility, right? Still the thought process. Could even come back up like that and then come back down. So we'll see what happens on NVIDIA. It's still currently bearish on the daily chart. It is still currently bullish on the weekly chart, but it is and has been trending downward. And there's longer term bearish divergence that hasn't been cleared yet, in my opinion. Got this huge, massive gap. So I think it's just a matter of time. Doesn't mean that lower high couldn't come all the way back up here. So, we just have to wait for it, right? We just have to wait and see. If you're in a short, most likely you probably took profit already on that short, and then you'd be ready for like the next, potential short the bounce scenario, right? And you kind of build out the trend lines up and then wait for that short the bounce. That's NVIDIA. It's currently bouncing right now. Kind of found the bottom here on last Thursday, and then it's just been kind of like slowly bouncing back up. And by the way, this looks like it could be some sort of like bear flag retracement, right? And then come back down. So Meta breaking out of this lower, this like shorter term trend line here. And so you've got this longer term one up here, right? So you got this, and it could come in and put in a lower high, right? Could even put a lower high all the way back up here. It's always possible. So we'll see what happens on Meta. I'm not in a short or anything like that. Didn't come back down and hit these targets yet. So we'll see where it puts in that potential lower high. I'm expecting it to. Let's look at the weekly chart. So the weekly chart, it could come in, put in like, roll over, put in this lower high, wherever that is, right? Could end up being like that, right? Some sort of, comes down, puts in that lower high, and then rolls back down, right? Something like that. So could take some time to play out. It's the weekly chart. And so as of right now, you can see that there's that bearish divergence, the RSI sell signal, very similar to the other Magnificent 7 stocks. And so will this, in hindsight, be a lower high? It's too early to say, but it's possible that it is, and it puts in this lower high on Meta, right? It's a lot of speculation. That's what we do. We speculate. So Amazon, again, had that bearish divergence, the lower high, RSI sell signal. still currently is bullish, but it already came back to retest, very close to the target 2 and the 200-week moving average. There's no sell signal yet, right? And it's pretty far extended away from the trending dots. So at some point, whether it comes back down and retests like this and then builds back up a lower high and then comes back down, right? We'll see. It would take some time to play out, but at some point, looking for that bounce, and at some point, you're looking for that lower high, right? So is that now? It's possible, because if you're looking at the daily chart and eyeball test, you got a gap right here, right? So other reasons besides, for that lower high, you've got a gap here. So eyeball test, trending dots, gap seems to make a lot of sense for a retracement. You put in that lower high, possibly like an extended bear flag. That's kind of getting out of the bear flag territory. The bear flag would probably, wouldn't go back as high there. So that's Amazon. We're going to keep going. Pretty sure to pronounce NVIDIA. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, my pronunciations of, things and my accents, right? Pronunciations aren't the greatest, although charts are my first language. English is my second language, and I'm sticking to that. I've been saying that for a long time. Microsoft looks like it's bouncing. It's at a key support target area long term. He had this lower high. Where is that other lower high going to happen? Price typically doesn't just go straight down forever. It'd be great if it did. We would lock in that, we lock in even bigger gains, right? But every bounce presents an opportunity. If you're not a perma bear and you're able to take profit, let the next trade come to you, right? Let the next trade come to you, however that is. If it comes back up, right? Whatever it is, and short that next bounce, right? So let's see. Let me get off of that. So we'll see. Maybe this is just a lower high, comes back in the trending dots, some sort of a retracement, a bear flag, and then comes back down. So maybe it doesn't even go that high. It's more something like that. But you're going to draw out that trend line wherever it kind of puts in that second wick. Could take some time to play out. Could happen very quickly. So that would be the next short the bounce opportunity. The next wick could be a more steeper angle on a bear flag. And then you're kind of like taking the short from there, right? So it's kind of all visually mapped out. And then you're just kind of waiting for the trade to come to you. That's Microsoft. Tesla came back down. Again, very similar thoughts on the daily chart. Bounce back up, put in a lower high, right? And then we'll see if it continues downward from there. Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart still potentially trending down. Looks like a lower high here. Microsoft, I don't know if we looked at the weekly chart. There is a pending sell signal on Microsoft, right? So when there's a pending sell on the weekly chart for Microsoft, it makes me think that it's going to be a more shallow retracement, it's becoming more bearish, right? So when it's starting to flip bearish, and of course, the pending sell could go away by tomorrow. Tomorrow, the weekly candle closes. But when it starts to become more bearish on the weekly chart, then I'm expecting more of a shallow retracement or like maybe a shorter term retracement with like some sort of a bear flag. So that's a little bit different than if it's still currently bullish and going from there. So Apple, right? Apple had the sell signal. Apple is still bearish. Apple has hit 2 targets so far. Came all the way down pretty deep in target 2. Hasn't closed into target 2, but could consolidate, could bounce, right? And kind of wait and let the moving averages, the trending dots catch up, all that stuff. But it's bearish on the weekly chart, and the probabilities continue to increase of hitting the next target, and then we'll see the next target, and then possibly coming back down, testing that elusive 200-week moving average for Apple. Very elusive. It hasn't hit. It hasn't hit the 200-week moving average like many of the other stocks have. Real quick, I'm going to jump over to notifications. Make sure everyone is reposting this for me. Repost the live stream as it's going on right now. Comment, like on the X app. That's how you do it. You hit that repost button. So thank you. I forgot to do it myself. So reposted, and that's Apple right now. So again, expect bounces along the way, right? Had that big move down, bounce, created a lower high, big move down, expect bounces along the way. And so this is a lower high, eventually could put in a lower high, right? As you see, the trending dots are way back here at 182. Could take some time to play out, right? Kind of see if the trending dots were to trend down like that, then you would see price kind of come back down like this, right? And like bouncing into that. So it would take time to play out. So that's kind of the way I look at it. And let's get rid of some of these squiggly lines. Just keep the chart cleaner. Google, last one, the Magnificent Seven. We're going to circle back to the crypto assets. We're already 36 minutes in. Then we're going to look at, we'll look at Bitcoin. Then we'll look at the crypto assets, and then we'll go into requests from there. So that's the lineup. Here's the weekly chart. Had that longer term bearish divergence. It hasn't been cleared yet. Target 1 has been hit so far. We talked about this, that as we were talking about way back here, that watch for price to break down, watch for price to break down, bearish divergence, price broke down, basically barely hit target 1, but we're going to call it. When it just hits the outside of it, I don't call it, but it slightly pierced through it by not even $1, like 30 cents. It pierced it. And we're talking about, coming down, possibly hitting target, bouncing back into and retracing to the trending dots, creating a lower high, wherever that is, whether that's all the way back up here, right? Or if it's more of a shallow one, right? So whether it's all the way up here or more shallow, just kind of waiting for that to play out. If you're looking for a short, kind of waiting for that to play out. And if you kind of tighten this up, you could even make it like that, right? You could even see there's two trend line points already. So could be something like that, right? Where it kind of fills in the, fills this in, takes some time, and then breaks back down. So that's Google. That's what I'm kind of looking at. And of course, there could be a much higher retracement, put in that lower high. And I think it's a lower probability that it puts in additional bullish divergence, but it is possible because the weekly chart is currently still bullish, meaning that after this big breakdown, it could come all the way back up here, close higher on price, while RSI comes down like this, puts in a lower high, and then rolls over, and then goes through its lower correcting phase on Google. Okay, let's keep going. Let's jump into Bitcoin. It's the one we watch the most, right? Weekly, this is the daily chart. So kind of a recap on Bitcoin, right? Here's the recap on Bitcoin. We talked about this way back here. Something very similar to silver and gold, which could possibly be leading the way. So what we did talk about was when price is back up here like 29,000, price coming back down, hitting multiple targets, possibly finding support, right? Did not hit this target yet, this longer term target, finding support. It's hit target 2 so far. This was bullish divergence, right? So this was bullish divergence followed by price hitting target 2, followed by getting rejected, come back down. And this is looking like a higher low, right? And we're watching this on the lower time frames too, followed by breaking out of this downward trend line. The probabilities are increasing that we're going to go to see hit target 3, right? Possibly target 4, and then come back down. So way back on the weekly chart, we talked about this, right? And it is a pending buy signal on the weekly chart. However, it is below the trending dots, right? And the week doesn't close until Sunday. So those are the cautions, right? Sunday, and even if there is a buy signal on the weekly chart, I'm expecting it to come in and it would be short-lived and put in that higher low. And that's very similar to silver and gold, which we already covered gold. So a quick flip over to gold. Price came down. There was a buy signal on the weekly chart, put in a lower high. Price came down. There's another buy signal, put in a lower high. And then what happened was price started to break down and is trending back down towards the lower target boxes. Similar with silver. So you got a move down, and then you got a buy signal up, puts in a higher, lower high, down, lower high, down, and now it's pending sell down. So that's what I was expecting from Bitcoin. And so you're seeing this kind of play out in real time where after the rally, you got that bearish divergence, sell signal. And now if we get this buy signal, it could be multiple weeks to the upside. Target 1, target 2, put in that lower high and kind of start to roll over and build out that, right shoulder, lower high, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll see if it breaks down. And I talked about this way back here. I talked about this could take weeks, if not months, to play out. We talked about it again on the live streams. This could take weeks, if not months, to play out. And it's taking time to play out. This is a weekly chart, and the weekly chart takes time to play out on Bitcoin. So I'm not expecting 2023 higher highs. So you got a higher high at 31,850-ish, right, to round it. I'm not expecting a weekly close above, here, let me take this off just for a second. A weekly close above 30,600. I'm not expecting that. So any weekly close below that, and it doesn't mean this bounce isn't a good bounce for a short-term swing trade, but if you're buying this dip, you better sell that rip, because what happens is it rips up and then it turns back over, right? So any weekly close below here is going to be a lower high, right? So whether that's target 2, which the probabilities are increasing that's going to go back above target 2 now, target 3 or target 4 or anything below that blue line is going to be a lower high, right? So we'll see how it plays out. I think the probabilities are more that it would be target 3 or target 4 and then start to roll over. And like I said, this is the weekly chart, so it could take some time to play out. If you follow my cursor, we're at the end of September. This could be October, could be into November, and then start to break down. Where are we going to know when to attack to the downside again? And if you're a perma bull, I'm sorry, I'm saying attack Bitcoin to the downside again, right? Well, it's pretty simple. We're already drawing out the next attack, right? The trend line is already up. So however this plays out, right? However it plays out, this bounce, right? We already drew out the trend line, and we can drop down to the lower time frames, and it's going to kind of now the chart's getting pretty messy, but let me zoom in here, see if we can see it a little bit better. It could be a little bit more of a steep line like that, and then that's where we would attack more up here versus like waiting this long for it to come back down. Possibly, So we'll see how it kind of plays out. Kind of like, take some time to play out, a couple of weeks, like I said, maybe even a couple months to play out, and then look to attack the downside of Bitcoin right there. But as of right now, it is breaking out of this downward trend line, signaling that higher prices are coming in, that the probabilities are stacking up to hit target 3, target 4, very similar to silver and gold. Ethereum, the opportunities, wow, it already hit target 1. I just mapped that out this morning and posted it on the X app. So we're going to go ahead and change this to target 1. It's pending buy signal, but we're showing it as it was already breaking out and a pending buy signal. So that's Ethereum, target 1. It's already been hit. Solana was a request, so we'll get into that. We'll go through all the requests. Cardano, I posted this earlier on the X app as well, and you can see it's breaking out. There's no buy signal yet, but the relative strength is starting to come in. It seems pretty early, just under 25 cents. You can see even a bounce up to target 1, about 8%, 15, 20, maybe it gets all the way up there. Even if it's not a bull run bounce, these bounces, these buy the dip and sell the rip scenarios could still be a massive gains, right? So that's Cardano. Seems pretty early still on Cardano as a possibility. Matic, lagging time-wise, most likely. Looks like there could be an opportunity of Matic on the daily chart. DOT, lagging time-wise. If we get a close back above the trending dots, start breaking out, you've got even from hasn't even broken out of the trend line yet, right? So you got 6% from current price, 12, 17, you get the point, 20%. These bounces could be fast. These bounces could be short-lived, and especially they could be bouncing while Bitcoin is bouncing and building out that lower high. And then, this would, if that were to play out and the altcoins were similar, you could kind of see it like this, right? Kind of build it out and then roll back over. And you'd be looking for that next play like that, right? You kind of see like eyeball test, the trend line's already being built out, comes back. I just seen this over and over again. So we're just continuing to watch it over and over again. All right. So now we're going to look at the comments real quick. Wow. We got a lot of viewers today. Awesome. Good to see everyone here. We're getting more and more viewers. It's early. A lot of people back in the chat. Ooh, West Diddy, glad I am the live. Yeah. So breaking news. West Diddy is one of my closest friends. He's not in the Discord. He just started watching on YouTube, just started watching on X app. It's kind of weird to have one of your close friends in real life, not one of your close friends in cyber life. But shout out to West Diddy. Glad you're here. The guy was in my wedding, right? So the guy was in my wedding. We played golf together. We, West Diddy, if you ever need a mortgage, call, message West Diddy over there. He's, that's how we met. We were in the mortgage business together. We worked at the same company. 2015 we met, and I was already working for the mortgage company as a branch manager. This guy comes in, this Asian guy comes in, and West City, not to call you out as being Asian, my wife's Asian as well. He comes in, super nice suit, really nice shoes, decked out. I was in my suit, of course. No socks. Guy was wearing no socks in his dress shoes. And I was really confident, right? Not say I was cocky, definitely more cocky in my early 20s, but just confident, right? We'll just keep it confident. I was older. This guy came in with so much swagger. I was like, who's this guy? Instantly, I was like, I gotta match my confidence up with this guy coming in with so much swagger. He came into the office rolling in, for his interview or whatever. And, he was a manager and ran a big team as well. So shout out to West Diddy over there. Love it. it's weird to see one of your close friends from real life, be here with us today. But shout out to him. All right, let's keep going. Whew, what do we got? All right, let's go back to the comments and let's go back. Okay, Rick, Solano, let's do it. You're the early bird. You get the worm, buddy. Okay, Solano, right? So, little plug to myself. we're covering it back Solano over here on the live stream over the past few days of a potential watching it. And I drew out where these targets could be, and I just drew quickly the eyeball test of where the targets could be. It's not because I have a magic crystal ball. It's because I stare at these charts and these targets over and over and over again. I can just do a quick eyeball test where I think they're going to be. And it lines up, right? They line up, and we're going to see if it hits these targets. It looks like it could be breaking out on the daily chart. It could be flipping bullish here, and we could be seeing a buy signal very soon. Rick's money makers, Helton. We'll see if we kind of get some moves like this. It's crypto, right? Let's see if we get some moves like that on Solano. They're fast movers. They're fast mover and shakers. But Rick is a maker, Helton, so I'm sure he can handle it. And let's see. Let's keep going. What's next? John, can you take a look at uranium? You got it. Early bird, 21 minutes early. Let's see. Let's read it. Can you take a look at uranium? Has been super bullish, maybe due for a pullback, right? Maybe due for a pullback. Been riding since $17.50. Okay, so you're in a long position, right? So a long position. Let's see, 1750. So wow. John, did you take a buy based off of the buy signal? That's awesome. That's right at 1750, right? So long position right at 1750. It's ultra bullish right now, John. There is potential bearish divergence right now. So you just have to decide what your overall take profit is. Was it hitting a key target? Are you trying to ride the trend as long as possible? And if you're kind of building out the upward trends, right? It's starting to go more steep on the upward trend line. So if you're playing it out, I mean, it's short chart history on it, like going only back to February 2023. It's what it's called price discovery, right? So it's in price discovery mode. Depends if you're in a leverage position. Depends if there's no price targets to take profits at key target area. So if it's in price discovery mode, you want to look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart is also ultra bullish. Monthly chart probably isn't even going to tell us much. There's not even any chart history for the monthly chart. It's bullish on the 2-week chart. It's ultra bullish on the weekly chart. Sometimes when the magic happens, John, so try to push this as long as you can. Watch it on the daily chart. You do have that bearish divergence here, but there could be continued bearish divergence, meaning higher prices. And, for me, I would want to try to, push this as long as possible. Maybe once price starts breaking down from this trend line, you lock in profits. Or if you see there's another close and it starts breaking back down below, like our side starts breaking back down below and puts in that additional bearish divergence, maybe you're taking profit. But right now it's ultra bullish. You're in a great position from 1750. It's a great move. You're currently up 41%. Congratulations to you, John. Let me know if you're in a leverage position. I'm excited for the snipers to win. I love it. Great job. New comments. Let's see. Based off a weekly chart buy, just spot buy, clear skies above. Yeah, I mean, it's clear skies above. Just don't get too bullish. Don't get too hyped up that you're going to the moon. Don't get too hyped up that you're that junior uranium miners ETF is going to go to 1,000, right? But do your best to ride it. The daily chart is ultra bullish. The weekly chart is ultra bullish. You got the trending dots. You got the trending lines. Build that out. And this would be kind of my mental stop loss, right? My mental stop loss. Try to ride it. Try to ride it. Try to ride it. Try to ride it until you can't ride it anymore. WGMI. Jealous of you, John. Good job. I'm happy and jealous and envious all at the same time. Good work over there. There is Valkyrie Bitcoin Miners ETF. There is, it's still bearish on the daily chart. It's still bearish on the weekly chart, but doesn't mean you can't get that bounce. It could be a short-term bounce similar to like Bitcoin. Maybe it comes back up and spikes back down. So if you're buying that dip, make sure to sell that rip, right? And then you'd be seeing it kind of play out like that. So, you can do it. It could happen on lower time frames. You can kind of eyeball test it. You could see like retracements come back here. They're fast movers, right? You can kind of see like eyeball tests of the retracements. Oh, so you can kind of see that kind of play out, put in that lower high. So if you are going to play it like that, just make sure that you're expecting, obviously it could be wrong, right? And the weekly chart could end up flipping around. But if the weekly chart flips around bullish, it would take some time to play out. So it's going to be putting in a lower high until it's not, right? So this would be like a lower probability where, comes into targets, finds support, and then continues upward. I think that's a lower probability. Possible, but it's a lower probability until the weekly chart flips around bullish. And that could take weeks, if not months, to do, right? So a lower high, a buy the dip, sell the rip situation, and then, break back down from there. So that's what I'm kind of seeing on WGMI. No leverage. Okay, awesome. Well, you're up 40%. That's massive. You don't even need leverage when you're up 40%. Awesome. Good job. All right, let's go back in, take a look at the comments on close my okay. And BCH yesterday. Yep, got it. Thank you. What do we got? Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel. Boss. Can we do Mana USDT? You got it. You got it. Do I have it on here already? I don't see it. So I'm just going to go crypto, Mana, USDT, Binance. Take a look at that. Okay. Daily chart, pending buy signal after bullish divergence, right? So you got bullish divergence. Bullish divergence. We've been talking about this on, previous live streams. There are several crypto assets, Bitcoin. There were several different things that we were watching with that bullish divergence. Another pending buy signal. You can kind of see like overall you've got like potential targets to hit, retracements, right? So kind of wait and see there. Or if you're looking at the daily chart to get in, right? So that's kind of like your let's see, let me draw a trend line here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Probably right there. Yep. Looks like Mana is starting to break out and a buy signal, right? After the bullish divergence. So that's something that you want to look at. And if we change the settings back, oh, no, didn't pick up a reversal candle. Fake out. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Even if it just bounced and kind of from this point of the trend line, you've got, 8, 15, 25% possibilities, right? Just for eyeball tests, right? So looks like it could be breaking out. There is a pending buy signal, starting to look bullish on the daily chart. Weekly chart is still bearish. And you can see like target 1 or target 2 comes up into that, like the trending dots. So it could be one of those, just a move like that, right? And if it is going to flip back around, it would have to put in, like, you got the longer term bullish divergence here, bullish divergence, right? Maybe it comes back up and then puts in that lower high if it's going to be a bigger bounce up. So that's kind of like, it would take some time to play out. But in the shorter term, it could come up, spike, a target or 2, right? Maybe retrace back down and then come back up and hit those higher targets from there. So that's kind of where I would see it on Mana. It's probably some of these other crypto assets as well. Not in a position yet, looking for a long trade. Okay, well, you just have to decide what time frame you're looking at. What are you looking? When are you taking that trade? What is it based off of? It's been consolidating. You can see that it's been consolidating sideways and building. Looks like it's kind of been building energy up. And then so if you get a close on RSI that's like back above this point here, back above here, then that seems like the probabilities are that's going to come up and hit target 1. So we're stacking probabilities. That's all we can do. And that's about it. So Mana, yep. People in their car, drive safe. Okay, Mauricio, Nicola. Well, I haven't tried this in a long time. I remember charting it years ago. A couple years ago. I've done options on it in the past, right? So, Mauricio, can you check Nicola? Are you looking at a daily chart? Are you looking at the weekly chart, Mauricio? Comment. Are you looking for a buy signal? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Real quick, at a quick glance, it is bullish on the daily chart. This was a low point here at 53 cents. Wow. I remember when Nicola was like $70 buy signal in the daily. Yeah. I remember when Nicola was. So did you take a long position, Mauricio? I remember Nicola was $70. Wow. That's incredible. $70. I remember shorting it. Oh, wow. That was way back 2020. Yeah, I knew it was a couple years ago, but I saw this huge spike up, right? Huge. Oh, I'm sorry. Not $70, $94. But I remember when it was $70. Yep, probably right there. When I was probably back when I was shorting it, because I saw this massive spike up, and then it was looking like a lower high situation and shorting it. Top of my memory. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but since then it's just been in this crazy bear market, and it went all the way down to 53 cents. Now, 53 cents, and you've got on the weekly chart, you've got bullish divergence, right? So no matter what we think about the company, no matter what the fundamentals are, I'm just looking at the chart, and it's like it's good to have an awareness, whether, a company's going into bankruptcy, stuff like that. However, even when I've seen charts or assets go into bankruptcy, I've seen it where they had these massive swing opportunities. Obviously, if you took a long position while a company is in bankruptcy and it's one of those buy the dip, sell the rip scenarios, it's super high risk. Probably not for me, but you could catch lightning in a bottle. I've seen it. It looks like the weekly chart could be gaining strength. There was a bullish divergence on the weekly chart. You can see after this spike up to $3.70 back from these lows, that's a massive bounce. It doesn't look like much, but it's a 500% bounce, right? What if Nicola hit $8 and retested the 200-week moving average at some point? It's a big what if, a lot of speculation. But if you're looking for a long and you're saying, hey, what if this was the bottom? There was bullish divergence, right? What if this is a higher low? And what if, you start seeing like a weekly close back above the trending dots, a buy signal again, right? You could see like, you know, um, this is probably a key target area, probably another key target area, area. And then, oh, by the way, you have the 200-week moving average up. So if something like that did happen, right, and you do have, there's already a buy signal on the daily chart. So it's getting to that point of, is it getting too late, area, but there's not even a buy signal on the weekly chart yet. And even a retest back up to like, an eyeball test of, here is a massive bounce, massive potential here, right? I think this is going to be in the category of all caps. Go ahead and type all caps here. I'll put it in the comments. High risk. I mean, if you're doing like lunch money, Mauricio, are you? Oh, you're not in it yet. Yeah, I mean it's high risk, right? But there's high reward, right? So even this bounce from back here, if you look at the daily chart, right? So there was a buy signal at $1.39. So you do high risk. Say you put $100 down, it's lunch money, or I don't know, maybe lunch money for you is $1,000, maybe it's $10, whatever it is. But you're looking at like lunch money, say, $100 and it retests back up. Well, you just potentially turned $100 into $200. Just know what your plan is and know where you're wrong and know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away, right? That's a song, right? It's an old school country song, I believe. I think it's Kenny Rogers, right? Kenny Rogers, right? So if you're watching that, even on the shorter term daily chart, Mauricio, this would be like target 1, target 2, target 3, right? So that's where you can. So even if you get in here, you're already at kind of like target 1. If you start seeing daily closes back above, there's still potential there, and then you could try to push it as long as possible if that's something you want to look into. But thanks for having us chart that. It's kind of cool to see things I haven't looked at in a long time. Oh wow. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go. Let's scroll back up, see what else we have in the comments to look at. Bitcoin miners, we looked at that one. What's Bitcoin doing? It's still bouncing, 3%. 3%. Okay. What else? What else? Mana, we covered that one. We covered Nicola. I know. My pronunciations. NVIDIA. Okay. Whatever. I'm going to pronounce a lot more incorrectly. Trust me. You have plenty of opportunities, Alto. I'm going to mess up many people's pronunciations of their name. And so I'll just apologize ahead of time. So feel free to call me on my pronunciations, my misspellings, whatever it is. Feel free to misspell my name. I don't really care. So gotta go Olson. Yep. Misspell my name. I'll see you in the replay. Thanks for everything. You got it, Aldo. Shout out to you being live and on the replay crew. Wes Diddy, my man. Just met him in 2015. So it takes a lot to get into my, inner circle. Takes a lot more to stay there. Wes Diddy, my best man, I've known him since I was 18. So 25 years. He was my best man, but he's still in Arizona. We get together a couple times a year. We talk on the phone, stuff like that. But Wes Diddy is local here in Orange County. Met him 2015. 8 years now. That seems like a new friend to me because most of my friends are longer term. If you put up with my crap long term, probably going to be a long-term friend, but I can tell you, do anything for you. I am highly loyal. West Diddy. Let's see. John, based off the weekly chart. Got it. Clear skies. Yep. Talking about uranium. No leverage. Buy signal in the daily chart. Yep. Cover that. Cover that. Cover that. That's it for the comments. Is that it? Are you letting me get off the hook? Hour and 10 minutes in. Anything you want me to chart before we jump off? It's about that hour. Wow. Ethereum making a move. Pending buy signal. Target 1 already hit. Solana looks like could be next. What else? Cardano could be next. Matic could be next. DOT could be next. What else? Any other crypto assets? That's Meta. What else? Oh, let's look at the miners. Too early right now. Could be Hut. I kind of mapped this one out. Is Hut next? Ooh, Hut. Is Hut next? Ricks. Thanks, Jesse. You got it. Thumbs up. Thank you. Riot. Early. Tilray after 2 targets. Consolidating. Those are old lines from the stream. Emmanuel, thanks, boss. Always nice to have a second pair of eyes on the charts. And Soul Link, you got it, Emmanuel. Let's see. Do your best. That's all you can do. Cut the losses short. Push the winners as long as you can. I know everyone says that. Easier said than done, but we'll work on it every day. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your support, everyone. Continue to smash that like button, whether you're on the replay crew, live crew, share it. Let's help as many snipers as possible. And we'll be back tomorrow on Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time sharp. With that, thank you. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.